Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tea Talks with Mo. Bam. Tea Talks. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Okay, so today I am drinking some Ilachi chai, which is clove chai, from this Last of Us mug. It's like the first Last of Us. I'm going to drop all this tea all over myself while I twirl this around, and it's freaking hot as well, right? I need you to see how good this mug is. Okay, so I don't really buy mugs like this very often. Like, it's very plain, and something has been printed on it. I don't really like plain mugs with just something. I need something unique about it. If you've ever seen my Creeper mug, it's square and it's like a whatever. You know, you get the gist. Like, I really enjoy unique style mugs, you know. But this one isn't that unique. It's just got like a printing of The Last of Us on it, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Just saying. That's some good tea. I don't think I stirred it enough. Not even gonna lie, tastes a lot like water. So I should probably stir it, right? No, but because we're on a roll right now. We're on a roll. Speaking of rolls, today I'm talking about Critical Role. One of my favorite shows since I was introduced to it. Still been watching it every week. It's been over 200 episodes, you know. Oh, before I start, let me just say, I always start my tea talks by saying that everything that I say is my opinion. You can differ from my opinion. You can, you can challenge my opinion. That's completely fine. Just don't be an asshole about it, you know? If you have a point or whatever, yeah, feel free to educate me about it. My opinions can be changed. Just don't make opinions facts, you know? So, let's begin. So, Critical Role. What is Critical Role? Critical Role is a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, that's actually their tagline. A bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, they do a stream. It's actually a web series that happens every Thursday. Friday for me, because it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. Because the cast is all from the Pacific coast in America. So it's one of those time difference scenarios. Now, you think 3 a.m. Mo, you'd be crazy to watch that at 3 a.m. No, I'm not crazy to watch it at 3 a.m. I watch it 3 a.m. all the time, guys. I watch it 3 a.m. all the time. So basically it's a bunch of voice actors who play Dungeons and Dragons together. They actually started. So basically, two of the cast members, Liam O'Brien and Sam Riegel, had this little podcast because they're best friends, and they barely got time to see each other, so they thought they'd make up this podcast, and it's called All Work No Play. And yeah, they're super busy voice actors, you know, famous, and you know they have a lot of work. So one of the things about the podcast is, so once a week they would go and do something that they would be fun for each other. You know, they went to like a Ren fair and all sorts of different things. But on Liam O'Brien's birthday, they said, hey, you know what? We're going to play Dungeons and Dragons. The real pen and paper stuff, you know? And that's what it is. It's Dungeons and Dragons is basically a role-playing game that you play in your head. You know, I had never heard of such a thing. I didn't see the appeal of it. Not even gonna lie, I didn't see the appeal of it. I was like, play it in your head, like imagination, like. But once you get into it, once you get into the whole mindset of Dungeons and Dragons, and you start to act like your character, start proper role playing, it's so much fun. It is so much fun, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't played Dungeons and Dragons, to definitely try it. At some point in your life, try it. So basically, they started. They started off as a home game. So it was just a home game for a birthday. It was just going to be like a one and done. But they loved it so much that they kept it going. They kept it going, and then somehow, I don't know if you guys know who Felicia Day is. Felicia Day. She's in Supernatural. She was in Supernatural. She found out about it and was like, you know what? You should put it on the internet. And so they did. They put it on her something that she produced. Well, she got off the ground. She founded something called Geek and Sundry. And yeah, so in 2015, they created this whole web series of Critical Role, and they didn't realize how many people loved the storytelling. They were absolutely mind blown, because from what seemed like not many people, it turned into so many people. Now they get hundreds and thousands of views every week, and you know what? Once you start watching it, you'll understand why they get that. You'll understand why why people tune in at all hours of the night or day to watch it. So basically, if you want to know when it comes on, it's on Twitch. It's a critical role. Critical Role. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying that. Critical Role. So it comes on Thursdays, 3 a.m. GMT for me, by 7 p.m. PST. And it's so great. It's so fun, and I would highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Okay, so to kind of get into like the Critical Role, you kind of need to know a little bit about Dungeons and Dragons. So Dungeons and Dragons is one second. I'm just gonna take a sip. That's some good stuff. No, it isn't. I'm lying to you. It tastes like water. I didn't stir it enough. And now I'm regretting it. Anywho, well, let's go to it. So basically, Dungeons and Dragons is a role-playing game. You play in your mind, and you use a 20-sided dice. 20-sided dice. I had never even heard of a 20-sided dice. I thought it was just 6. I thought 6 was the highest you could ever go. Nope. 20-sided dice. You go. So you use the 20-sided dice to make rolls, and the higher the better. So if you get a natural 1, so if you get a 1, or if you roll the dice and you just get like a 1, that is a epic failure. If you get a natural 20, which is just if you roll it and you get a 20, that is a epic success. Anything you want to do in the thing, anything you want to do in your imagination, you could possibly do. Obviously, some shit like, you know, I want to fly, I'm going to jump off a building. Even a natural 20 probably wouldn't do anything. Not even going to lie to you. Yeah. So basically, to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons, you need first and foremost, you need a DM, the leader of the group, the leader who will create the world for you. You create the DM, Dungeon Master, creates the world for you, and what you do is so the Dungeon Master creates the world. He creates the characters that you will interact with. He will create he or she will create the scenario and the adventure that you will go on. And every person that you meet in this imaginary world, you will talk to the dungeon master as if you are talking to that person, and the dungeon master will reply as said character. And I have DM'd before. It's a lot of hard work, but I really want to do it for my friends. It is a lot of hard work because there's a lot of thought that goes into it, but I really want to do it for my friends. And I've done it for my family, and I've done it for my cousins, but I want to do it for my friends. And there's a bunch of first timers that I really want to put through the grinder and get them into it, you know. So I was introduced to Critical Role by my good friend Decibel. Shout out to you, Decibel. And I didn't understand it. I really didn't understand it. It was actually I really enjoyed the game The Last of Us, and when she told me that the person who plays Ellie is in Critical Role, I had to go check it out. So I checked it out, started from the beginning, and never looked back, never regretted it, and I love it. 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 So basically, a 20-sided dice. Okay, so this here is a giant ass bag. I'm holding the bag from Critical Role's Laura Bailey, who designed this bag, and it's called the Laura Bailey Bag of Hoarding because she loves to hoard dice. I have become a dice hoarder myself. This is full of freaking dice. You can hear it. It's full of dice. So there's like 20-sided dice. There's like all sorts of different types of 20-sided dice. There's just so many. I'll put my hand in here and I'll show you a handful of freaking dice here. I've also got like a large one as well. Okay. So, yeah, so basically you roll the dice if you want to try and do something, try and persuade someone, try and hit something. You roll a d20, the higher the better, the lower the failure, unfortunately. So you get, okay, so you have a DM. I just talked about a DM. Now you have to think about who the other people are going to be. So it's like obviously a group game. So you want, so you have characters, and characters get to choose what race they want to be. You don't have to do all that. But if you're having like a fantasy setting, you can have like different types of settings. Obviously, you have different types of settings. Like there's medieval settings, there's cyberpunk, there's steampunk, there's modern day, loads of different things, zombie themes, whatever you want. But so you get to pick what kind of character you want to be. You can be any kind of character you want. Obviously, you can't be like already start off at the top. You have to kind of build up to where you want to be. They can have flaws. They can have confidences. They can have so many different things. They can have siblings. They can have a tragic backstory, an amazing backstory. So that's something what a character has. Let the chaos consume you is what all I say, because most DMs will put you through the ringer, that's for sure. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about how Critical Role started up and how and what Dungeons and Dragons is. So, but with Dungeons and Dragons, you don't really need that much. You don't really need, you just need a pen and paper. You just need you can get the player's handbook and stuff like that, but all the assets and stuff are usually online. You can create your own. You don't have to create much. It's a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun. Okay, so let's talk about. I talked a little bit about it, but the cast of Critical Role. This is one of the most I don't know how to say my favorite cast of people ever. Like, everyone has their pros and everyone has their cons, obviously, but because everyone's human, but still, like, everyone is just amazing. It's just everyone in this cast is amazing, and you've probably heard of some of these people. You've probably heard their voice somewhere, because they've done a lot of stuff. They've done a lot of stuff. So let's see. Let's go down the list here. So you have to start off with the Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master, like I said, builds the setting. Has like a bunch of different characters in their head. Gives adventures for people to go to and do things. So Matthew Mercer, you may have heard of him. He's the DM of Critical Role. He played Levi in Attack on Titan, and is also McCree in Overwatch, and he's done a ton of things. Those are like the big things, but he's done a lot of stuff. And oh my goodness, when he comes up with the voices, and he makes really memorable characters, and you think, how can he make memorable? There's no like that. Obviously, there's art, but it's mostly fan art for the show, and people. But his vocabulary and his descriptiveness. I don't know. The way he describes people, and the way he encapsulates the characters is beyond amazing. I aspire to be a DM like that. You know, someone that can just encapsulate a random character. And people, a lot of the times he just says, he just plucks it out of the air. You know, it's not even something that he's like wrote down or anything like that. He just plucks it out of the air, and he makes really memorable characters, and it's really great. He puts so much time and so much love into this, and I highly recommend checking his work out beyond Critical Role. There is Liam O'Brien, whose birthday actually set this whole thing in motion. They are just. I know it sounds like I'm just gushing about Critical Role, but I can't help it. I don't have that many fandoms, right? I don't. I like video games, and I like going out and playing football and going for walks and stuff like that. But Critical Role is one of my biggest fandoms, and I love their show so much. I love everything that they do. It's so great. It's so great. So Liam O'Brien, he actually played Gaara in Naruto. Now, I've never seen Naruto, but I know Gaara is meant to be like a villain or some bullshit. I don't even know. I've never seen Naruto, but hey, he plays Gaara in Naruto, and also he plays Gollum in Shadow of Mordor. Who doesn't love a little bit of Gollum? You know, Gollum is a very unique character in. Obviously, in the Lord of the Rings, Andy Serkis plays him amazingly, but Liam O'Brien plays him amazingly too in Shadow of Mordor, and he does a fine job in it. He does a fine job in it. Great guy. Marisha Ray, who is the wife to Matthew Mercer, she is the creative director of Critical Role. She's been in a lot of different stuff. Small roles and stuff like that, but she's done a lot of stuff, but she's very creative, and you can see that with everything that they do on their channel. One of the biggest things I have to say is she brought back all work no play, because I think they only did like 6 episodes of that, because obviously like that's the whole point, like they were just so overworked that they didn't have time to play. So she brought that back, and not only that, she brought back something that I've loved. I love what they did. It's called Narrative Telephone. If you guys have ever played Telephone, in the UK they call it something, but it's not very politically correct. I'll just say it starts off with something and it says whispers at the end. So basically what they do is they record themselves saying a story, and then they send it over to another the next person, who will watch the story and then have to try and re-say that story and it just goes on and on and on and on, and it's actually really great. It's actually really great. And Marisha Ray, she's freaking awesome. Okay, so Sam Riegel. You probably heard his voice somewhere. Probably thinking where. He actually played Donatello in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series. Who'd have thought? Yeah, he played that for years. He played that for years. I like Donatello. Donatello was pretty great. And also, by the way, he won an Emmy for voice directing. He won an Emmy. He won an Emmy. Oh my goodness, he won an Emmy. He's so funny though. He is so funny, and his improvisations are incredible. Incredible. Really great. Okay, so Laura Bailey. I know you've heard Laura Bailey's voice. She's been in a ton of things. She was in the new Spider-Man game. She played Mary Jane. She plays Selina Kyle, Catwoman, in the Telltale's Batman series. She also plays Nadine in Uncharted 4. She was in Gears of War 5. She did a lot. She's done a lot, and she's amazing. She's very, very talented. And yeah, she's great. She's very, 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 very talented. There's Travis Willingham, who's married to Laura Bailey. Who'd have thought? By the way, I met Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham. Such sweethearts. So great to just chat with for a second. You know, that was really great. I'll tell you a Laura Bailey story in a second though. So yeah, Travis Willingham, he plays Harvey Dent in the Telltale Batman series. Harvey Dent! He plays Harvey Dent. Okay, he's going to be playing Thor in Avengers. You know the new Avengers movie? Not Avengers movie. The Avengers game that's going to be coming out soon. I think maybe this year or maybe next year. Probably early next year. He's going to be playing Thor in Avengers. That's a big role. But if you ever seen Travis Willingham, he's a big guy, you know. He plays Roy Mustang. Now, when I heard, a lot of people have been telling me a while ago to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So I was like, okay, well, I'll watch it. And lo and behold, Roy Mustang, played by Travis Willingham. I was like, I've heard this voice somewhere before. Yep, he plays Roy Mustang as one of his biggest roles. He's oh my goodness, he did such a great job in that. If you haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, go check it out. It's so good. Okay, so this person needs no introduction. Ashley Johnson. Ashley freaking Johnson. Come on. You know her from The Last of Us. The Last of Us. She plays this lady on my cup right here, who is Ellie. Yeah, so as you can tell, this is like a full, like, all-star cast. You know? Okay, so she plays Ellie. She was on the hit TV show Blind Spot. She plays Patterson in Blind Spot. She was also in this is actually a big role, but like a small part, if you know what I mean. Big role but a small part. It was in she played a waitress in Avengers Assemble movie, which is insane. She's very talented though. She's very, very talented. She sings as well, and so does Laura Bailey. Actually, they actually do the theme song for Critical Role, which is so heartwarming, and it's so like motivational. It's such a great song. And then there is Taliesin Jaffe, who was like a child actor back in the day. He was in Mr. Mom. I've never seen Mr. Mom. I kind of want to because he's in it. But apparently he did a really great job in Mr. Mom. And he also plays Blanka in Street Fighter. Who doesn't like Blanka? Blanka was awesome. I loved Blanka so much. He was such a great Street Fighter character. He was so like different from everyone else. He was my favorite when I was younger. He was my favorite. So okay, let me tell you the story about Laura Bailey and I. So I was going to see. I was in the line to get her autograph, and they were like, "Oh hey, you're only allowed to take one thing to get autographed." And I was like, because there was a bunch. It was like a whole Uncharted cast, and I wanted to get my CD case. My DVD case or whatever, Blu-ray disc case to get signed. I went. So there was like a whole cast, and they were like, "Oh, you're only allowed to take one." I was like, "Can I do this?" I was like, "Can I do two?" And they were like, "No, you can't do two." It was like it's only for one other person. It's like they were like, "No, sorry." I was like, "Okay, fine, it's cool." So I walked down the line with my case, and when it got to Laura Bailey, I said, "Hey, Laura, look! I got the book." And it's an art book. So they commissioned this art book, and it was this really nice art book, red leather looking thing, and it was an art book for Critical Role. And nobody else was around was actually like a Critical Role person. It was just Laura Bailey there, and basically, I showed her, and she was like, "Oh, give me!" So I was like, "Okay." So I gave it to her, and she opened it up, and she signed it for me. Now, how awesome is freaking that? How awesome is that? I wasn't even allowed to take two things, but she saw it. She told me to give it to her, and then she signed it for me. Now, if that isn't like one of the kindest things that you can do for me, that is one of the kindest things you can do for me. That was awesome, and I'll never forget that. You know, and even with Travis Willingham, I was on the front row of this theater because I was watching I was at PlayStation Experience, so I was there, and all of a sudden I hear someone say, "Oh, is that Travis Willingham?" And they were pointing towards that area. So I looked in that area. Obviously I can't see it, so but I was like, okay, you know what, I know that Travis Willingham is this big guy. If I don't take a shot, you know. So as we were leaving, I went up behind him and I just said, "Hey, Travis," and he looked back, and I was like, can I get a sign, signature or whatever, an autograph?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And he was talking to me, and he signed it for me, and yeah, it was awesome. I really will cherish those moments, you know. It's really amazing, and I love them so much. I love them so much. I do want to go see them all at some point. I really want to go see them at some point. So yeah, Critical Role. So it's a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors playing playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. It's so great that it's attracted the attention of like people, and they've invited special guests to come in and sit in and hang out with them, such as I don't know if you know who Carrie Payton is, who plays Ezekiel in The Walking Dead. He's awesome. He's got such a great voice. I wish I had his voice. I wish I didn't sound like this. I wish I sounded like him. He's got an amazing voice. He's such a great actor. Oh my goodness. He's amazing. And there's Joe Manganiello. Sorry, I'm probably saying this really wrong. Joe Manganiello. Manganiello? Yeah, okay. He was in it as well. I think he was on 2 episodes. And he's from Magic Mike. I don't know if you... I don't know. I've never seen Magic Mike. But I know that's how he's well known for Magic Mike. I know him from How I Met Your Mother. I know him from How I Met Your Mother. He's freaking huge, though. You know. John Heder. Napoleon Dynamite. He was on a couple of episodes of that too. Guys, you gotta check out Critical Role. You gotta check it out. Apparently, so Diamond Virgo 81 says he was on True Blood 2. Oh, I didn't know that. But he's deep into Dungeons and Dragons. He loves Dungeons and Dragons so much. He has like he has an actual dungeon. He has a basement where he has all these Dungeons and Dragons memorabilia and stuff like that, and he actually hosts a game for all these like Hollywood celebs and stuff, which is amazing. We all have to play it at some point. It's such a great game. So I've talked about the cast, how they got started, what makes it so special. Why am I dedicating a whole Tea Talks to Critical Role? That's a good question. And until you watch it, you won't really understand where I'm coming from. There's this sense of camaraderie. First of all, it's funny as hell. Secondly, the way it's acted out and everything, yes, it's all improvisation, but you feel for these characters. Yes, they're imaginary characters, but you feel for them. You want them to succeed. You don't want any of them to die. You want them to succeed in what they are doing. There's so many different arcs in... So they have two campaigns, actually. They have two campaigns. I got started on the second campaign. At the first campaign. And basically, it was so heartwarming to see a bunch of friends just having a good time together. It really, really interested me in... It actually got me into Dungeons and Dragons. Critical Role got me into Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not ashamed to say it. I will shout it from the rooftops if I have to. They got me into Dungeons and Dragons, and I understand why it's so special. It's the friends that you make. It's like you're all going on a journey together, and that's a beautiful thing. Yes, you are sitting at a table every week, and you're hanging out with each other, but it's just one of those things that you can't really put into words. It's just a really great roller coaster ride. And until you play Dungeons and Dragons, until you watch Critical Role, you won't understand it, because it doesn't make sense. You're not watching anything, but you're watching it happen in your head. These things that you use your imagination for so many things. Why not go on an adventure? Why not go talk to a random stranger in an imaginary state? Why not start a bar brawl? You know, it's one of those things that I absolutely adore, and I cannot wait to do it for some of my friends here. So what makes Critical Role so special? Like I said, there are a bunch of amazing actors which have amazing imaginations that love to role play, and when they role play and you feel it. You feel the emotion, you feel the happiness, you feel the anger that they are going through, and it really helps in real life too. And I've heard it on multiple occasions how something like Dungeons and Dragons can help lift depression, can help with a lot of things that are going on in your lives. And what isn't there to celebrate about that? What isn't there, to celebrate it about that, That's really all I want to really say. I don't want to give any spoilers out or anything like that, because I want you guys to watch it. If I was going to tell you to start it from somewhere, I would say start it from campaign 2 to get most of their shit sorted by then. Like in the first campaign, they were just starting out. They started off with a small budget or whatever, and there were some issues at the beginning. So I would recommend starting on campaign 2, and it does seem like there's a lot, but you can, there isn't much visually, but if you have it on, like say in the background or something, you'll get through it very, very quickly, and you'll love it. You'll love it so much. I highly recommend it. Just check it out. Just check it out. Start you off, like I said, start you off a campaign 2. And who knows? Who knows? You may fall in love with it too. You may fall in love with it too. Alright, well that's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, no spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. There are some really insane moments in that. There's some really, really insane moments. And I really, really, really urge you to go check it out. Go check it out. By the way, thank you to the wonderful Deadsy Doll for the Twitch Prime subscription. I appreciate it very much. I do appreciate it. Now go check out Critical Role. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. Thank you for watching. Bye.